Close your eyes and picture the spirit of Christmas. You see the warmth of the hearth. You see lights twinkling softly on a pine tree. You see a jolly old man in a red suit promising rewards to the worthy. It is a time of comfort, of safety. But where there is blinding light, there must be a deep, consuming shadow. In the frozen valleys of the Alps, the locals know a different truth. They remember what the modern world has chosen to forget. They know that Saint Nicholas does not travel alone. While the saint brings the gift, his companion brings the judgment. He is the twisted horn in the darkness, the heavy clatter of hooves on the roof tiles, the rusted chain dragging slowly through the snow. Welcome to the Bestiary. Today we peel back the festive wrapping to reveal the rod underneath. Today we hunt the Krampus. To truly understand the Krampus, we must look back much further than the Christmas traditions you know. Long before Christianity swept across Europe, the Germanic tribes feared the winter solstice, the Yule. It was not a time of celebration, but a time of survival. The nights were long, the cold was lethal, and the veil between the living and the dead was dangerously thin. The entity we call Krampus is a remnant of these pagan times, a primordial force of nature. Some historians link him to the horned god of the witches. Others see the bloodline of the Norse goddess Hel. He represents the harsh cruelty of winter itself. The church tried to banish him. They outlawed the rituals, burned the masks. But the fear of the Krampus was too deep in the human psyche to be erased. So instead of destroying him, they claimed him. They bound him in chains and made him a servant of Saint Nicholas. They put a leash on the beast, but a leash does not make a monster tame. It only makes him angry. What does he look like? If you are fortunate, you will never have to find out. But the ancient archives describe a figure of pure visceral horror. He is not a man in a costume. He is a hybrid, half goat, half demon. Standing over 7 feet tall, he is covered in matted black fur that smells of sulfur and wet animal musk. Great curved horns, like those of an alpine ibex, crown his head, scratching the ceilings of the houses he invades. His face is a twisted mask of permanent rage, with a long, pointed tongue that lolls out, tasting the fear in the air. His eyes possess rectangular pupils, staring into your soul with an intelligence that is far too human. But listen closely. Before you see him, you will hear him. Krampus carries heavy, rusted chains. They rattle and clang with every step, a discordant music of iron and bone. Legend says these chains symbolize the binding of the devil by the church. He thrashes against them, frustrated, eternal. And in his clawed hand, he holds a bundle of birch branches, the ruten. These are not for decoration. They are tools of penance, used to swat and beat those who have strayed from the path of righteousness. Mark the date, December 5th. While the world waits for the joy of Christmas Eve, the Alpine villages tremble during Krampusnacht, Krampus night. This is his time. When the sun sets behind the mountains, the streets belong to him. In traditional parades, men dress as the beast, running through the towns in a chaotic frenzy. But the folklore speaks of something far more sinister than a festival. It is said that on this night the storm clouds gather and the real Krampus roams freely among the impostors. He checks the list that Saint Nicholas ignores. If a child has been good, they are safe in their beds. But if they have been wicked, a lump of coal is a mercy they will not receive. The true punishment is abduction. Krampus carries a woven basket or a heavy sack on his scarred back. It is not for gifts. It is a cage. The boy was never found. But legend says every year on Krampusnacht, if you stand near that ruined farmhouse, you can still hear him screaming beneath the ice. Why do we keep such a monster alive in our stories? Why do we celebrate a creature of such malice? Perhaps because we know deep down that morality requires balance. Without the threat of the dark, we cannot truly appreciate the warmth of the light. Krampus serves as a grim reminder. Actions have consequences, and no sin goes unseen. So, as the snow begins to fall this December, look out the window. Be kind, be generous, be good. Because while St. Nicholas might be watching, the Krampus is listening, and he is always hungry. Thank you for joining this expedition into the dark. If you heard the chains rattling in this video, subscribe to the Bestiary. Let us know in the comments. What nightmare should we investigate next? Until then, do not whistle in the woods and stay out of the shadows.